Hi there, welcome to the daily Crazyhouse Arena. I just happened to drop by and I saw that there were quite a few strong players participating, and let's have a look at some of the games. Shuvalov is playing Damat. Interesting position here where Damat doesn't have any queens, but look at all those light pieces. He has all but one. So it's a little bit hard to assess the position right now. Black offering his queen for an attack. F3 was definitely an option here. Maybe rook at F3 here to put pressure on the white position. It's really close to mate now. Yeah, rook d1 mate. So Shuvalov at the top of the tournament. Who is challenging? Well, Anjo Nakamura is in deep trouble, I would say. What is this? Isn't it mate in one here? No, sorry, the bishop wasn't. But this is made in a few moves. White doesn't have anything, and black has everything. So I'm not sure what black is thinking about here. Could just pick up the knight on e2 and smile, or pick up the knight on h7, or he could just go for the mate. Queen here. He's thinking a lot here for no apparent reason. So clearing g5 for a pawn check. But white has an escape route here. This is just very, very strange. He must be nervous or something. White doesn't have anything here. And black is just wasting all his time. So you need to get rid of this bishop to take f5 safely. And I mean, this is just ridiculous. He's sacrificing everything for almost nothing. And now, actually, white has a mating attack if he's giving the chance, and black loses. Oh, that must have hurt really, really bad. I mean, he's, yeah. I was about to say plus 50, but it's made in 5. And it was made the whole time. So a good example of how not to finish an attack. Instead of looking for quick finishes here, why not just take the knight on h7 and smile? Just smile. Everything is hanging. Yeah. White would probably just resign then. So back to the tournament then. Shuvalov at the top, and Anjo Nakamura took a well-deserved break after that hilarious win. Shuvalov is playing who? Cavendish. So let's have a look here. White has some sort of attack here, and black king is cut off. All these squares are unavailable, so he's heading out into the unknown. And white calmly picks up another piece, clearing d7 for maybe a knight check here. And actually black doesn't have a diagonal hand, so white could just pick up the bishop for free, actually. So this is what I mean. White is just handling this really calmly, enjoying his superior position, not making any hasty decisions. And for instance, pawn here, if the king goes up, you can cut it off with a bishop on f4. I thought the queen was doing just fine here, cutting off the queen, the black king from the back rank. So this was a bit unnecessary, I would say. Allowing the pin and the queen. Because the knight on f3 was not threatening anything, really. Okay. But white has quite a lot of material here. And he should get his attacks started. So we can pick up f5 for free with check. Just put all those pieces on the board. d6 is a nice square, the knight is protected. Now just everything just cracks in the black position. A knight check and a pawn check, and it would be it's made in already. Okay, so Kayandish beats Chuvalo, who was at the top of the tournament and who still is. Who else is playing? Igor Bugmate. Let's have a look at this. Black has sacrificed a queen for some material, and he has a very strong attack here indeed. But looks like black has everything under control here. f7 looks like a safe square, more or less. This knight and this bishop covering some important squares. So how to proceed here? Maybe it's not so easy. Maybe take on e3. This is interesting because if white takes here, you have a knight fork on f2. But it does allow the pawn check here and a knight check on the back rank, and then the queen comes in here. You can take the bishop with check, maybe. You would love if you could somehow pick up the bishop on e4 with check at some point. So nice little intermezzo here. Cashing in a couple of light pieces. Black in some time trouble. Not sure if it was the best thing to pick up that knight, because it wasn't doing much. Putting pawns on the 7th rank is always useful. But I don't see the follow-up. You would need to have a knight to really threaten the black position. And I don't think black can survive this. Why didn't he put a pawn on b7 and just queen the... A few more checks. And black is just guessing white's next move here. You'll need to be a bit more creative. Just shuffling around the king won't do the trick here. So the final position is a winning for white. King b7 and then pawn c6 is a win. You just move away the bishop. Let's see what happens in the tournament. Shuvalov is in the lead. Cavendish chasing. There's no one playing right at the moment. So let's watch Shuvalov versus Cavendish. And Shuvalov is a brave guy. He has berserked. Actually, recapturing here with the bishop, I think it's a mistake, because it leaves g7 unprotected, and also if you take with the queen, the threat of queen b4 and capturing b2 is not so easy to deal with. That's a typical pawn sacrifice just to crash through on the dark squares. White has won queen for a piece and a pawn. It's not the end of the world for black, I suppose. Not so easy for white to put his extra queen to work. You'll need to do something like, I don't know, h4, h5 to breach the black defenses. And that extra bishop on g7 makes it really hard to achieve something for white. Tremendous defense there around the black king. Hi there, welcome. Is anyone else watching? Well, quite a few players in the audience. You are very, very welcome. And if you're wondering, I think I have some sort of delay, maybe 20 seconds or something, just to make sure that the players aren't watching my stream and cheating and so on. Maybe just push the e-pawn here. Because I'm thinking if knight takes here, pawn takes, you don't have a square for that knight. This rook is covering d2. So, well, maybe bishop g1 here then. And the rook is out of squares. Now white has a very simple plan, just pick up the pawn and, well, maybe after pushing the knight away or something. Simply take and take with the king. Everything seems just fine here for white. He just needs to gain some momentum. And that's good, giving the white king some extra luft. Watch out for rook landing on e2. This knight doing a great job covering some entry squares for the rook. And white just needs some time to put maybe a bishop on g4 and then just pick off these two guys. And he's super fine. And now there's a mate lurking here on h7. Well, black could have taken, white takes, king g7, and there's no mate. But bishop at e5 would have been very difficult to come up with a defense against. So Shuvalov in the lead. And what's this? Let's have a look. Seems exciting. Seems like white is winning. That bishop was just in the way of the white attack. Yeah, there was also the possibility of knight h5, I remember. He had a knight on g3 that could go to h5. So that was also a possibility, definitely. So Crazy 888 won convincingly. He's only played 39 games. I wonder who this guy is. Shuvalov is playing Guitar Slim. And this looks like it will be a quick win. What has happened in the opening here? Picking up a whole piece and castling into the attack here just is a very bad idea. It cost him more material to try to mend the position, and right now white could just shift to playing some chess. Pawn at d3. I'm not really sure what the black plan here is. white actually has time to pick up the knight here because of the smother mate trick in the corner. And white can just throw everything at the black fortress, trade off the defenders and deliver mate. So possibly hoping to lure the black bishop here and take on h7, but you don't need to take it, you can go to the corner. So that was a bit of wishful thinking on Shuvalov's part. You should probably just go back with the bishop. Another idea would be to, I was thinking maybe rook h4 to keep an eye on the knight on d4. So the knight is just hanging. And this will end in a white victory pretty soon. Just watch out here, no queen f1 mate, instead white mates in one. So I suspect Shuvalov is in the lead here still. So let's look at this Spa Pan versus Shandbagger. Black is short of material, but he has some interesting prospects here around the white king. And now it looks like knight h4 spells trouble here for white, doesn't it? Just repeating the position. Maybe it will end up in a draw here. I'm thinking one way of handling this would be to play rook e8 or maybe the other rook to e8. Because then if the queen has left the building, you could... Okay, now he chose to go to g3 instead. And with the queen away from, let's say, somewhere here, and the rook on e8, you could have just protected the knight with bishop at e4. Simply taking the rook here is a nasty threat. And as I mentioned before, rook to e8 looks very dangerous. And picking up the queen is suddenly a nice idea. The black king looks safe. Maybe just move the bishop back a little bit and clear f3 for the queen. So this is clearing f3 here, and now it looks very hard to defend this. But look at the clock. Should just keep on taking here, clearing f3, clearing f3. And bishop here and queen here finishes the game. Nice win there for Zhandbagger. And what's happening at the top? Shuvalov in the lead, playing the winner of the previous game here. We watched Zhandbagger. And both players have berserked. I wonder if this is some kind of theoretical line. White is going for the c7 pawn, and I'm not sure about that reaction. Black sacrificed the pawn here on e5. I should know this line because I play this myself, but I don't have a clue what's going on here. So it looks like Zhandbagger has played some decent moves. But what about knight g3 now? Well, black could give the whole queen for 2 pieces. And putting pressure here on c3. If white takes, you could possibly take on a3 and c3. But what happened here? Black just lost a queen for what? Yeah, for 2 pieces. And just take on b4 now with probably the a6 knight. Yeah. 2 pawns for a piece in this position looks just like a very good trade. And white is starting to panic here a little bit. Look at the 2nd rank or 7th rank, for depending on which way you look at it. Queen g5 maybe, forking. Knight and bishop and defending g7. g5 was clearly the more aggressive square. And why not just go for the rook? Pawn b2. Pawn b2. Pawn b2. Well, now black is just winning. But that wasn't mate. But it was mate in 2. Okay. Nice finish by Zhandbagger. And is this some new guy? 126 games. Okay. Shuvalov lost again. And Zhandbagger is trying to close the gap. He's won all his games so far. Now this is a high-level game. How to assess this? It's completely balanced when it comes to material. Bishop h6, trying to provoke some weaknesses here. Also cutting off the connection here between the rook and knight. But it's looking very weak here on the back rank. But how do you capitalize on this? One funny move would be to play king d7, and if the queen takes here, maybe you can take with the rook on h6 because of the pin here. Also, I think the king is slightly safer over here. A lot of defensive possibilities. What else is there? That's a very long think by Samurai. Well, I suppose you need to be precise here. Is he thinking about giving the queen on f6? Maybe he was expecting knight at f6 check when king e7 looked fairly safe. So maybe one idea is to play bishop f3 here. Bishop f3, because if the pawn takes, you have a mate in 2, knight h3 and bishop g2. But you could also just leave the bishop here, maybe take the queen, because taking the queen threatens knight f6. Looks like a big threat, yeah. Hi there. Yeah, why not take on d8? Hello. So who else is in the chat? Yeah, white did take on d8. I think knight f6 is a big threat here. And black takes care of that. But now he doesn't have the mate, so white could take on f3 if he likes to. and simply mend the position with a pawn on g2. Or possibly bishop h3, I don't know. So this didn't turn out so well for black. Probably bishop h3, or what else can you do? That's a rather slow approach. Aha, some tricks here. Bishop takes h2. But white didn't fall for that trick. And he's not going to fall for any tricks at all in this position, I think. You have stuff like bishop d7, maybe. Yeah, bishop b5 closing this exit. Queen c7 is mate. Let's have a quick look at the position here. This is actually good for black. Bishop at e2 followed by pawn at f3. It's the same mating idea that we saw in the game. I was suggesting this crazy move. What does he think about that? Oh, d5 is maybe a problem, yeah. So what happened in the game? He took an h6 and suddenly he didn't have quite enough resources. White had the time to take on d8, and from then it was just downhill, I think. Yeah. All right, let's go back to the tournament where Shuvalov is leading, but he's followed by Sandbagger, and they are playing right now. And look at the holes in White's position. So this is just one for black. The white king completely naked. There's actually a forced mate here. You could take on f1 and then queen d1 check and then a pawn on e2 and then just take everything. But black chooses another path where he's picking up one light piece after the other. And now it's made on g1. So Sandbagger wins again. And he's in the lead right now. Playing Ansho Nakamura, and this is a tough guy. Sandbagger keeps on berserking. Nifty little move there by black. Forcing a white piece to d3. Maybe pawn at e4 is the way to go now. Notice that the knight e5 move not only protects f7 but also closes the e file and introduces some interesting possibilities here on d3. And why not just take everything? You can take on f7 as well, giving up the queen. Then the next move is not a problem at all. You could just protect the queen if you like. Or why not knight d3? That's a pretty move. So black has won a pawn. And now he needs to gain the initiative. He could play something passive like pawn at f6, just enjoying the extra pawn, but he goes for the white weakness here on d3. Yeah, why not just leave it there? You can pick up the bishop whenever you like. Let's go for the g2 pawn. So covering g2, attacking the knight, and also attacking b7. I'm wondering if you could take on g2 maybe. Take g2, queen takes, bishop f3. Looks quite sensible for black. And now you probably need to do something crazy like knight g5 or knight e5, just push forward. Maybe pawn e2. Super aggressive move. Because I don't quite see a mate here for white if he's giving the chance to back away here. You just take. Well, this is interesting too. Covering f7, threatening mate here on e2 and d1. So you can just pick up the knight now, if you like. Why not? He preferred to pick up the rook instead. And I don't quite see a continuation here for white. Yeah, or even sandbagging. I also got that feeling actually, but he didn't stand a chance in this game, at least. So let's find out who this sandbagger guy is. Oh well, who knows? He started playing Crazyhouse quite recently, but he's been around since 2019. So he was a almost 2200 player when he played on the 3rd of August 2021. And then he lost 200 points on the 4th of February. Oh well. Let's get back to the tournament. Sandbagger in the lead, followed by Shuvalo, who's not playing. Dish. Let's follow this Sandbagger dude. Apparently he likes to fianchetto his bishop. So the opening has been a success, I would say, for black. Gaining some time. He has a terrific kingside. And also an open e-file. Capturing the pawn here on b7 just takes forever. And now you have a grip here on the e2 knight, and also you're threatening knight, queen to b4 check, picking up a free piece. So let's say white goes back, you can just take everything on e2 and trade and deliver mate. So I don't see a reason why you shouldn't take here, because knight at d6 you just take and then you go back into the corner. With the knight in hand, of course, that would be knight h3 for black, followed by a smothered mate. Also, if black gets his hands on a heavy piece, he can play queen h1 and then take here and put the heavy piece in the corner. Good evening, gingerbread man. Black trying to defend g6 and also threatening mate on g2. Remember that this knight on b7 is under fire. Oh, I'm okay, I guess. Having some insomnia problems, but hopefully watching some Crazyhouse will cure it. I'm not sure. Maybe it will make it worse. And how are you? You fine? So this just looks like a perfect attacking position. Knight e2 picks up the queen, and then everything falls apart. You can take on g2 with check and put a bishop on the long diagonal or whatever. Yeah, bishop here, queen g2, mate. Okay, quick win by Sandbagger, who's in the lead. Shuvalo, have you quit playing? We would like to see these two guys fight it off in a last game. Winner takes all. but we only have 2.5 minutes. Have they stopped pairing? So let's see the tournament winner. And this is actually a horrible line for white. This is a mistake. We can watch what happened here in the beginning, and this is a very natural reflex. If you haven't played Crazyhouse much, put a piece on the board with check and everything. But Queen E6 is quite strong, and then Knight F4, covering D5, no fork on D5, and also attacking G2. And now all hell breaks loose. It's hard to even cover the mate in one. White gives up a whole piece. Oh, you can always pick up momentum whenever you like. In my case, 20 years later, it's always there. So just take the knight, check on E1 with the rook, and good night. Nice little finish. Okay, so Sandbagger takes the victory in this tournament, followed by Chuvalo. Let's watch this high-level game from the last round. Looks like maybe black has sacrificed a little too much. Hi there, Train Flipper. You could, well, it's just what's it called? The Daily Crazyhouse Arena. I would have liked to see, instead of Bishop H4, Knight H6 first. That would have covered G4 and also introduced some tactical possibilities. Well, I'm not sure who this Sandbagger is. Some guy who found an account he created a long time ago. I mean, he played some decent Crazyhouse, but I wasn't too impressed. So, can you play this slowly? No. White is threatening knight at f6. Maybe pawn g7 then. Pawn g7, just to mend the holes around the king. But maybe then white takes on f8. And this seems too slow, I think. Knight f6, knight takes, bishop takes, with all sorts of mating possibilities. This is a cute move also. Threatening mate on h8 or g7, and if the king takes, you have knight g5, followed by mate on h7. And maybe that was the problem also after pawn at g7. You could just take on h7. So this is all over, isn't it? Too many squares to cover? I think so. Rook takes, and you have knight f6 check. Quite hopeless. So Cavendish takes this. But Sandbagger wins the tournament with an impressive 24-92. What's it called? Level of play. So what happens now? Let's see if I can create a game. Just a couple of games before I go to sleep. Someone, if anyone is interested in playing. So, who wants to play a friendly game of Crazyhouse? So, this is some really quick player. Oops, that was the wrong square. Let's see if we can win it anyway. I gave him a free piece. That was very kind of me. But he's almost in shock here. Checkmate. So he's licking his wounds. Who else wants to play? What's this? This is probably just super bad for me. Lucky me. I'm so bad. That was a horrible game. Okay, let's play the computer. If I can whoop his ass, I will go to bed. Easy flag. Yeah, too easy. Easy peasy. So he is trying to play knight f5 and capture d4, but I have a trick, don't I? I can just give up d4. Thank you so much. I will probably need it to beat the computer. Are you really sure this is good for you, Mr. Stockfish? I find the stuff they play very confusing myself. I don't know much about openings. But maybe I could do something. Why not? So what should I do here? I am so crushing this little computer. Yeah, give me all your pieces. Oh, I thought you were going to... I didn't expect this. Okay. Haha. I won. Well, the only openings I know something about is the openings I play myself. I wouldn't call them decent, though. Maybe just one more game. If someone is interested in playing. But openings is definitely a key to become better at Crazyhouse. I wish I knew some good openings. Kyle Legion. What is it you do here? Can you play like this? I'm thinking your knight on g5 is hanging, my friend. So, isn't this just mate if I take here? Now, how are you going to defend? I guess the answer was you're not going to defend. Let's have a look at this. The opening. Yeah, I think d4 is bad. You should play a short castle here. And here, I think it's a theoretical line. Maybe just castle short. I don't know. But after this, I know you can play knight b2. Oh, thank you so much, Emil. But here white should take on d5. Yeah. Give up the queen. Hi there, helps Steb bro. Is there a bunch of students, my students, up at this late hour? You should go to bed, you know. Go to school tomorrow. But after this, white was really struggling. Pawn e4 immediately was probably better, yeah. I found this idea now in this position. e3, look at e3. Just crushing. Cutting off the connection here between the bishop and the knight. And let's just see what had happened if he had taken here. Is there a forced mate? Maybe there isn't. But white has absolutely nothing, so yeah, I could check on e4, pick up g2, or just keep on checking. Yeah, horrible position. Not so easy to mate though, but I'm happy with my plus 35. And what happened in the end? Yeah, I just took the knight and it was quite hopeless. Okay. Queen d2 and knight e3 check. Yeah, maybe, but it wasn't mate. It was probably good, that also. Maybe one more game. That's the thing with Crazyhouse. I can't quit playing. I'm addicted to this silly game. And for those of you who are watching and you haven't tried playing Crazyhouse, you should. Whenever you capture a piece, it changes team and you get it in hand so you can place it on the board. Very much like Bug House. And this just felt like he blundered something, didn't he? Yeah, I have an extra piece. And I like it. And I have an extra lot of seconds also. That's a very interesting question. Does it improve your chess? I would have to say, yeah. I would love if the answer to the question was yes. And I actually think it is, because pretty much everything you do on a chessboard will improve your game. Thank you so much. Oh, he beat me the last game we played. Horrible. So I would encourage everyone to start playing Crazyhouse. It will, I promise. You'll get your money back if it doesn't improve your chess game. What's up? Well, we are playing some Crazyhouse and I simply can't quit. Mr. Blender. Who is Mr. Blender? And I'm not playing standard. I'm sorry. I'm playing Crazyhouse. So if you want to play some quick, fast Crazyhouse games, sure. And preferably unrated. Because I'm slow and old and I want to keep my precious elo points. Yeah, but you didn't challenge me in Crazyhouse. That's the thing. Crazyhouse. Yeah, okay, let's go then. I said I preferred unrated, but... Oh, sorry. But let's do it anyway. You can have my points. Go get them. And I believe it's Black's move. Mm-hmm. Oh, you can just play for fun. Playing for fun is fun. And checkmate. Thanks for playing. Good game. Who else wants to play? Someone. Oh. Crazy house. I really should go to bed. I need my beauty sleep badly. Which language is what? I'm trying to speak English, if that's what you're wondering. Freiburg spielt Schach. Hi there. And my mother tongue is Swedish, in case you're wondering that. So I have a little trick here. I'm gonna fork you on E2. And then I'm gonna maybe play F3. Because the attack looks quite strong. Quite strong. Let's pick up the free knight. Does he have any tricks? He wants to place a pawn here on d6, I think. e7, sorry. Maybe I should block on d6. I would love to have one more heavy piece. I'm trying to find a cute mate here. so let's do what? I could probably just play some chess in this position. I mean, d4 is hanging. My pieces are well coordinated. I would love to plug a bishop on d5. So, what's his idea here? He probably wants to play g4, but then my bishop is ready on d5. I'll simply take on g4, and then I'll take on g2 as well. Oh, he resigned. Thank you for playing. Hello and welcome, Mr. Deskovich. Oh, he's a pirate. I have to look out. So I managed to swing my knight over to the king's side, which I like. And he saw that I was threatening to take on f7. That was good. He's actually playing some decent moves here. Let's make a square for my g3 knight. And surely b6 isn't the best square for a knight. h5 is hanging. You should probably play h4, because otherwise I'm simply taking your pawn on h5. I have an extra pawn. Let's develop. And you had better watch out for some knight forks on c7. c7 incoming. I want to take your knight and put it on c7. The question is if it's dangerous. But I'm Fearless man. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, let's just take his rook and be happy. Threatening my knight here on g3. That's a clever little move. Or is it? I could, of course, just move my king out of the way. Like this. No pin anymore. I protected my knight. I don't really see the mating attack. I have moves like rook c7 and knight c5, but no clear path towards victory. So I'll just save the checks for later. Maybe he'll give me some more material. I should probably prepare rook d8 mate. Also threatening his queen, obviously. So instead of taking his queen, I just play like this. We have a suggestion here. Instead of knight b6 here, what is good? You were suggesting knight f4 instead. Aha, yeah. H3 was probably a sloppy move. I should have played d3 just to prevent stuff like knight f4. But how is this? d3 looks... Well, when the computer says it's equal, it's probably bad for me. Because of the horizon effect, he doesn't see the whole way to the winning line. I can't take on g2. I need to take here, and this looks very, very risky indeed. Yeah, this is probably bad. Well spotted there, you so rude. So let's play one last game. Is this my 5th last game or something? So if you are watching this and you want to play, just challenge me for a Crazyhouse game. Well, I'm not really a chess player, so I prefer to play Crazyhouse. Yeah, just one last game. But I'm not playing standard, I'm sorry. Three, two is okay. Last game. Let's see how this goes. This is probably too wild, but I cannot resist. I cannot resist. So knight h5 was probably a very bad idea. But maybe I was doing okay anyway. Who knows? We can check afterwards. So he lost on time. What happened in the opening here? Yeah, pawn at e4 is bad. But in this position, pawn at b4. Yeah, he doesn't have that extra pawn in hand to cover the c3 square from behind. Well, e5 looks interesting, at least. d5. Maybe I'm overly aggressive here, but he likes it. The computer likes this. He likes me. That was too aggressive though, and I suspected as much. But you can always pretend that you have compensation here. And after this move, I actually do have compensation, but then I lost it. But after knight h5, it was game over. Okay, someone is challenging me here, and let's play. I will not try to pronounce your nickname though. Was it correct? How do you pronounce your name in Dutch? So nice little quiet opening. And I really should investigate this, because I don't have an idea what to play here. What to do? Putting a knight on e4, surely that can't be bad. I'm threatening c3. Also introducing some sacrifice ideas. Maybe this is a nice little provocative move. How do you get out of the check? I don't think that's the right way. I'm sure that's not the right way. So if you take, I take back, and then I take your rook, and then I take everything. Yeah. So what do you think? Will it be the last of the last? That's a very interesting question. Where's the mate? Somewhere here, right? Thanks for playing. Yeah, what the hell? One last game. Thanks for playing. Nice to see that so many of you are interested in my crappy play. I hope you enjoy it anyway. Freiburg spielt Schach. This is the last game of tonight. And let's make this a lovely little game. Okay, I'm afraid I will take your queen now. Oh well. That was the last game. Surprise, surprise. I really need to go to bed. Thanks for watching, and I hope I will be back soon with some games from the Crazyhouse World Championship. Let's watch the calendar. Unfortunately, we don't have any games going on until Saturday. So if you're playing, make sure it ends up in the calendar, because there should be a lot of games going on. And I'm dying to comment on some high-level Crazyhouse games. Let's see if we can find someone to raid. If you're playing, make sure it ends up. Oops, sorry. Where can we raid someone? This is the raid button.